thank you to all ARMY around the world who always stand faithfully behind every step and every journey of their idol. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you won't miss the next updates that will be even more surprising, more emotional, and even closer than ever. Because today, a big question once again shakes the internet. What really happened at the airport when SUGA suddenly appeared without any announcement? No one knew exactly what he was planning. There were no official hints, no leaked schedules, and absolutely no signs that he would show up. But why did it seem like hundreds of eyes were already waiting? As if something bigger was unfolding, something accidentally exposed, something that turned the airport from calm to chaotic in just a matter of seconds. The question is, was it all coincidence? Or is there a hidden message behind SUGA's silent arrival? It all began when an airport staff member doing a routine check overheard soft whispers from a group of anxious fans. They kept glancing at each other, checking their phones repeatedly, asking with shaky voices, "Is he really coming today? Or is this just a rumor?" No one had a definite answer, but their hopeful gazes revealed that they felt something was going to happen. And they were right just minutes later. A figure dressed in a black hoodie and dark sunglasses appeared from the international arrival gate. How could someone with such a simple appearance trigger instant screams? Why did the crowd suddenly rush in the same direction? What made his aura so different and instantly recognizable? Was it because his presence always carried a sense of calm and strength? Or because he managed to guard his mystery so tightly that every appearance became a huge, unpredictable event? As he walked closer, cameras started popping up. Fans' trembling voices grew louder, and some even burst into tears. They couldn't contain the overwhelming longing they had held onto for so long months, filled with silence, schedules, and distance that made the gap between SUGA and his fans feel wider than ever. But that day, with a single step, that gap seemed to collapse. SUGA walked with his signature calmness. Yet behind those dark glasses, no one knew whether he was hiding a smile, containing exhaustion, or fighting back his own emotions after seeing such genuine outpourings of love. Shouts of SUGA echoed throughout the airport. The voices blended into a single emotional frequency: joy, shock, pride, longing. Yet the big question returned. How did fans know he was coming when no official schedule was released? Was there really a secret leak? Or was it simply the legendary intuition of ARMY, always magically able to sense their idol's presence even without clues? Witnesses at the scene said the moment wasn't just about his arrival, it was about his appearance. His hair looked longer, his demeanor calmer, his aura deeper than usual, turning the airport into a moving stage. It felt as if every step he took was sending a message. Something big was coming, something worth waiting for, something that made the world hold its breath. But the drama didn't end there. As the crowd grew louder, a staff member signaled fans to maintain distance. But that wasn't what shocked everyone. The true surprise came when SUGA suddenly stopped. Yes, stopped, right in the middle of the chaos. He turned toward the faint cry of a young fan holding an old, worn-out light stick. The moment seemed to slow down. No one knew what he was feeling, but many believe he gave a small acknowledgement, a silent sign that he heard. He saw, and he deeply appreciated every bit of love directed at him. Some fans swore they saw his eyes glisten behind his glasses. Was it real? Or just emotional imagination? No one knew. But that split-second moment became the most emotional point of the day, making several fans burst into tears simply because of a glance that lasted less than 1 second. That's how powerful his presence is, how deeply he affects those who love him unconditionally. The next surprise came when fans noticed that SUGA's security team seemed larger than usual. Speculation spread instantly. Was he heading to a secret project, an international collaboration, or preparations for an unannounced comeback? Was this sudden airport appearance a piece of a larger puzzle? Or was it simply his desire to move quietly without the weight of public expectations? The emotional wave peaked when a fan accidentally dropped her cherished photo card. While trying to step forward, gasps filled the air as a staff member picked it up and gently handed it back, saying he'd be happy you brought this. Today, this simple sentence made the atmosphere even more emotional, as if SUGA somehow knew of every small act of love shown to him. Finally, as SUGA approached the black car waiting for him, one last question hung heavily in the air. Is this just the beginning of something much bigger? Something about to be announced. Something that could shake the music world once again. Something that makes every army hold their breath in anticipation. That day, the airport wasn't just an arrival spot. It became a stage of mystery, surprise, emotion, and unforgettable memories. Because every step SUGA takes, no matter how small, always carries a story powerful enough to make the world pause for a moment. And today, we all witnessed one of those rare moments. But just when everyone thought the moment had reached its end, another unexpected twist unfolded, one that made the entire airport freeze in disbelief. As the car door opened and SUGA was about to step inside, a soft breeze carried the faint sound of a melody. At first, no one paid attention. But within seconds, fans began looking around, confused yet mesmerized. The melody seemed familiar, almost too familiar. Like a tiny fragment of a song they had heard before but couldn't place exactly. Was it a hint, a leak, or merely an illusion created by the overwhelming emotions of the day? Some fans insisted the melody resembled an unreleased track that SUGA once teased during a late-night live session years ago. Others believed it was something entirely new, something he had been working on in secret. The mysterious sound spread among the crowd like a whispered prophecy, and suddenly all eyes shifted back to him, desperately searching for clues. What was the meaning behind it? Was SUGA purposely dropping a sign? Or was it just a coincidence that ignited a wildfire of speculation? SUGA paused again, just for a moment, as if sensing the sudden shift in energy around him. Though his expression stayed hidden behind the glasses, his body language softened. His shoulders dropped slightly. His steps slowed, and for a second, it felt as though he wanted to say something, or at least acknowledge the ocean of emotions flooding toward him. Yet no words left his lips. Instead, he simply lifted his hand, giving a small, almost fragile wave. It wasn't dramatic, it wasn't flashy, but it was sincere. And that sincerity was enough to send shivers down the entire crowd. Tears erupted, against some from joy, others from the bittersweet ache of longing. That tiny gesture felt like a message wrapped in silence, as if he was saying, "I'm still here. I see you. I haven't forgotten," even without speaking. SUGA had always been exceptional at communicating through the smallest details, the softest movements, the quietest expressions. And this moment was no exception. As the car finally began to move, fans followed it with careful steps, waving through their tears, their cameras trembling. But another question rose sharply. Where was he going? The vehicle headed toward a restricted exit, avoiding the usual public routes. This only fueled more theories. Some claimed he was heading to a private studio hidden within the city, while others insisted he was en route to a secret filming location. The mystery grew thicker with every passing second. When the car disappeared from sight, the crowd remained frozen, unwilling to leave. It was as though the air still carried traces of his presence, his aura, his unspoken emotions. People hugged each other, shared shaky laughter, wiped their tears, and replayed the moment repeatedly on their phones, trying to make sense of everything that had happened.